Our last video broke down where the 1% controls the most wealth. Now let's look at the 10 countries that are best at preventing too much wealth from accumulating at the top. 10th is Switzerland, with the highest median wealth in the world. Investors love parking their money there because the Swiss political and economic system is on lock. This constant injection of foreign capital helped the country survive the global recession that battered the rest of the world. France is 9th. Government spending accounts for half of the economy, and it owns shares in many companies like banks, energy utilities, transportation providers, and telecommunications firms. This gives the French people more control over working conditions and wages, so they aren't exploited as much as workers in other countries. The Netherlands is the 8th most equal country. 56% of its wealth is owned by the top 10%. That seems like a lot, but it's actually one of the lowest rates in the world. The government uses aggressive taxation to fight the worldwide trend of more and more earnings going to the rich. 7th is Greece. The economic crisis that has ravaged the country over the past decade has driven poverty over 30%. The Greeks' problem isn't really keeping wealth out of the hands of the rich, it's that there isn't enough wealth, period. Number 6 is the UK, where there are over 2 million millionaires. That's more than 3% of the population. Over the last century, taxation has cut the 1%'s share of total wealth in half, but it's on the rise again as earnings are increasingly captured by the top. 5th is Australia. Only Switzerland and Iceland have median wealth higher than Australia. Mining is one of its strongest economic sectors. The physical demands of that industry could be why Australians put such a high priority on fairly compensating their workers. Another wealthy country is New Zealand, the 4th best nation at preventing its 1%ers from plundering all the booty. Like the Aussies, Kiwis are big agricultural exporters. Even though many of them are rural farmers, they're also a well-educated people who wouldn't tolerate for a second being taken advantage of by elites. 3rd is Japan. It has the 2nd most millionaires in the world, and its capital is the world's largest city. This combination of development and density has driven the Japanese to embrace a balanced approach to society building through policies that reward success while preventing gratuitous wealth accumulation. The 2nd best country at keeping wealth out of the hands of the top 1% is Belgium. 97% of its 11.3 million people live in cities, which fosters a "we're all in this together" mindset. Belgium's capital, Brussels, is also the seat of government for the European Union, the organization that's been, arguably, the most effective at tackling income inequality in the history of the world. On that note, the country whose 1% controls the least wealth is Hungary. It didn't create a billionaire until 2016. It joined the European Union in 2004 and has a universal healthcare system and provides tuition-free university education to its people. There's something special about this part of the world, as Hungary's neighbors, Slovenia and Slovakia, are also at the top of various other rankings of equality. So I want to know why you think that is. I'm also curious to know where your country came in on this list. Or did it make the other list, like mine, of the places where the top 1% controls too much wealth? If you haven't watched it yet, click the screen to check that video out too. Thanks for watching. Until next time, for TDC, I'm Bryce Plank.